We are back for episode 5 of the F1 Challenge Career Mode. The career mode that we take the worst car on F1 24 to possible championship glory. Today we are racing at the legendary Zandvoort, coming off the back of a victory at also a legendary track of Spa. Can we maintain this form to take back-to-back victories? Let's get straight into the video and straight into Zandvoort. Here we are then, round 5 of the championship in Zandvoort, as always showing the car R&D tree to show that we have not gained any performance between the episodes. With that being said, we're currently sat P4 in the championship, 1 point away from Charles Leclerc in P3, and it's sitting 1 point ahead of Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship, being P4. Let's get straight into the race weekend. Oh, it's going to be raining for qualifying. Hopefully we don't make the same mistakes that we made in Silverstone. So here we are then in the garage of Zandvoort, and intermediate conditions are confirmed, and stable intermediate conditions at that. So what I'm very happy about, and it minimises the chance of me making the same mistake that I made in the Silverstone qualifying, of course back then compromising the chance to go for pole position, and thus far our worst result in the championship. So we definitely won't be looking to recreate that, but possibly put it on pole position today. Coming around the final corner to be opening up our first qualifying lap in this session. Lewis is just behind us, but far enough that we didn't impede his lap as we start our own qualifying lap. The rear of the car sliding around quite a lot in these slippery conditions. Max Verstappen goes temporarily to pole position. Can we beat that? Can we go faster? As we did take a bit of grass on the inside and a lack of traction on the exit as well. So it's been half decent in the first sector, but definitely not optimal, as it is purple though, so clearly we have a good amount of pace in the bag. Going through the middle section, you see the car sliding around quite a lot, having to work the tyres hard in this condition. Still yet to see a proper dry line forming, as you normally get as the time evolves in a qualifying session in the F1 game. So still a lack of grip on the circuit. Coming towards the end of the middle sector, it's another purple middle sector for us to match the purple first sector that we did through the exit of the corner, using a little bit of overtake. The lap has been sloppy, in all honesty, quite far away from our apexes, quite a lot of mistakes, but can it be enough to be putting us at the top of the charts to be opening the qualifying session? It is. It's going to be just under a 10th, if that is correct, compared to what I remember Verstappen's lap time to be. Wow, even more than a 10th. I thought Verstappen did a 17.6, but in fact, he's done a 17.8. That is leading us to a 3/10 advantage. Actually, a 1/10 advantage as Russell pops in the 117.6 that I thought Verstappen was doing originally. Let's put on a new set of tyres and go out aiming to improve. Here we go then, second qualifying lap in the session. The track should be a little bit drier on the racing line from cars repetitively driving over it, just making it a bit more grippy on the racing line. And we're already feeling the effect of that from turn 1, just under 1.5 tenths up, down 2 gears. Much better racing line through there, it felt like anyway. Didn't touch the grass as we went into the corner, and that made a big difference through there. Gained another 1.5 tenths throughout the first sector alone. 3 tenths up in total once we got all the corners hooked up together. A bit nicer through there, gained time, but it wasn't very flowing. It still isn't very flowing for the right hand of the car. It seems to be understeering quite a lot, what means we're just sort of turning in and waiting for the front axle to pick up grip. But nevertheless, it is pretty quick, as we're looking to be 7 tenths up on our delta, coming towards the end of the middle sector. That's surely another purple. It is another purple, as now we go into the chicane. So easy to run into the gravel there on the exit. Hard on the power. Can we be 1 second up by the time we get to the start-finish line? I think we will be. That was a strong enough exit. Now keeping the car committed through the right hand on the banking. We are just going to be 1.1 seconds up on our lap time, going to a 1:16.449, and that is what we need if we want to be fighting for pole position today. With that being said, though, we might have another Silverstone situation that is looking to be drier as the session goes on, but I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm going to play it safe and go out on the intermediate tyres and then try to fight for pole position that way. Look at the track, though, as we've got 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining on the clock. The track looks basically bone dry, but we almost fell for the same trick that we did in Silverstone. It is still not that grippy, and it says on the top left corner that the AI is still on the intermediate tyres, so it is going to be a final lap shootout with these increased grip conditions with a drier track on the final lap of this qualifying session. Through the right-hander, back on the power, already finding 2/10 of lap time, and now rising up with the crest, down 2 gears, and now releasing the brake pedal, squeezing the throttle, building back up momentum. It's going to be over half a second improvement in the first sector alone. Let's see what we can do throughout the rest of it. It's not purple, though. It's not purple in the first sector, getting another 10th there. So it's clearly an AI car is going quickly. Who could it be? Could it be Verstappen? Could it be Russell? Could it be Hulkenberg? As we actually run wide onto the gravel there, looking too much on the lap times, increasing, or decreasing, I could say, at the top of the scoreboard there. Russell is going to a 15.0. We need to do a final sector of our lives to get back with the contention for the pole position here today. Through the left, back on the power, and now we're going to be 9/10 up through the right-hander. Bit of understeer there, but we kept good minimum speed. It's going to be 1 second, over 1 second up on the delta, running up to the start-finish line. Where can we go? We're currently P19. It is not good. It's not optimal. And we go P3. Bit of a disaster, to be honest. We could have had pole position, but at least we didn't make the same mistake as we did in Silverstone, and we are in fighting contention for the win. So there we go, official confirmation, P3 in the qualifying session, 1.9 tenths of pole position, and we probably could have had that without the mistake in the middle sector, but it is what it is. Those things happen, and we are still in a strong chance to be taking another victory back to back and closing in on the Drivers' Championship lead. Here we are on the grid, now P3 position. This is the setup that we're going to be using for today's race to try and clinch our second victory back to back. Starting on the soft compound tyres, they're going to mediums later in the race. 2 laps extra of fuel in the tank as we've got lights coming on, and it is going to be 5 lights. And away we go here in Zandvoort. Russell has got a screamer of a start, and we have the opportunity to go round the outside of Max Verstappen at turn 1. And it seems like we are going to be able to do that with momentum on the exit, and we're going to sweep in to P2 in this race. We can't relax just yet, though. We don't know how quick Russell is going to be, and we need to ensure that we can keep in his DRS detection zone. Of course, DRS probably the least powerful on the calendar around Zandvoort here today, but still, we need to keep in it if we want any chance to take home victory, especially to get into the race lead is our best chance of taking the win today. Obvious statement, I know. But still, the gap is sitting around 7.5 tenths to George Russell, and it's expanding by the meter on that straight, so that's a bit concerning as now we go through the final sector, and that's a bit better, able to bring down the gap just a little bit, and of course also having to adapt to the dry conditions as we are just out of the qualifying, being in the intermediates. Down the pitch straight for the first time, Max is very, very close to us, and we're having to use a lot of battery down the straight to stop him even having a chance at looking down our inside into turn 1. If we battle, we lose, because we'll end up dropping out of the DLS from Mr. George Russell. And we have got 40% battery right now, so we need to hold back on this overtake button and just see what we can do throughout the rest of the lap. It's critical that we beat Max Verstappen in today's race. That is an absolute must. Even if we don't beat Russell today, Russell, of course, isn't leading the Drivers' Championship, and we just need to make sure that we close the gap to Max Verstappen. That's the priority above all else. A bit of slip and sliding on the exit. The gap is going up, though, to over 1 second. We need a good chicane here. Down into fourth gear, down into third, and it was a good chicane so far. The traction was a bit suboptimal. 8 tenths, almost 9 tenths going into the final corner of the lap. And it is going to be DRS wide open for us. And we're going to have to drain the rest of our overtake button to even have a chance of staying ahead of Verstappen. But it seems like he's going to go on the attack. We cover the inside, but it's just enough for us. We do the purple final sector, apparently. But I don't know how much I believe that, because Verstappen was all over the back of us. 7 tenths to George Russell. These are critical laps. Can we maybe hold on until the AI start to disintegrate their tyres, if they would at all? It seems unlikely, but maybe seems like our only hope at the moment. Through the right-hander, down to 6, flat out for the right-hander. We can't even think about tyre deck on our car right now. We just need to be push, push, and push again, down to fourth gear. Rotate the car, back on the power. The gap is over 1 second. We won't have DRS to Mr. Russell. We need to think about what we're going to do here with Verstappen, because Russell is going to be clearing off into the distance right now. Big oversteer on the curb as we came off it. Right, let's see what we do. We probably won't have a fighting chance against Verstappen on the straight. We're going to give it our best shot though, but he's going to be very close. Maybe the best thing we could do is fall into the DRS and try to follow him along. Alonso's also going to have a go at us. Can we maybe get this position back on Verstappen? We send it up the inside. He leaves the space. Side by side on the exit of the corner. Having to run up into turn 2. And we're going to have the inside line and just able to retain P2 in this race. Russell has absolutely checked out at this point. And we need to change our battery strategy. Instead of trying to attack, we need to start harvesting that battery so we can have maximum efficiency for that pit straight, to keep Verstappen behind or attack forward depending where he is. Russell already 2.5 seconds in the lead. Through the right, through the left, trail braking into the corner. And if Verstappen is to overtake us on the straight, it's not the end of the world, to be honest. I wouldn't mind it. Just have to make sure Alonso doesn't get a sneaky overtake as well into the chicane. You can see right over the back of Verstappen now. The reason I don't mind it is because with a good final corner here, we should be in position. Oh, that was not a good final corner. We understeered like a boat in the dirty air of Verstappen there. We need to get the position back into turn 1 using a lot of our overtake button right now. He's going to go defensive, but we're going to send it up the inside, much like last lap. And now side by side on the exit, exactly the same. Almost rinse and repeat of last lap again, but we're able to take the inside line. What I was originally thinking is to overtake Verstappen much easier on the DRS straight, but it didn't work out that way. Still another 10 laps to go until our pit stop is going to be open, so we need to start managing that front left tyre. It's already on 22%. That is not good, not ideal in the slightest. Russell is basically gone. We can't really think about Russell right now. We don't have the pace in the car to be travelling that fast and to be managing the front left tyre. Let's see if we can do our routine a bit smoother on this lap. Letting Verstappen up the inside. Don't let Alonso have a sniff of air. And now we're going to be running side by side with the chicane. I want Verstappen to be ahead here so I can take the DRS. Learn from my mistake on the previous lap. Still very much a big understeer zone throughout that corner. DRS open. We are a bit closer to Verstappen comparing to the previous lap. Maybe we can leave it in a hot lap. No, we can't just leave it in a hot lap. We're going to have to use more overtake button down the inside. Again, Verstappen keeps on leaving the inside open, and we're going to keep on using it if he keeps on doing that. We're running side by side on into turn 2. Rinse and repeat of the previous laps, and we have retained P2 in this race. Not sure how long I can keep this up for, in all honesty, as it is relying on quite a bit of luck from the AI not defending in turn 1 right now. Imagine that front left. Critical. Really don't want that to be above 70% by the time we get to lap 16. And of course, lap 6 right now. It's already on 26. Last time we looked at it, probably 28. 27. So under halfway into our stint. And we'll already be over 50% by the time we reach lap 14, 15 time. And now this is nice and close behind Verstappen. Hopefully don't get too much dirty yet. Okay, it wasn't too bad this time. 10 further away compared to the previous lap. But again, just using the overtake button. And let's see what Verstappen does. Is he going to defend? He doesn't really defend again. That is just opening the door for us to keep on managing our tyres and managing our race as we get very close to touching on the exit of the corner. Down 2 gears. Lap 7 of the race already, and it's looking like a dogfight between me and Verstappen to try and hold our track position. Another thing in the equation is our fuel level. Doesn't look that good. Already down to 1.5 laps, so we lose half a lap of extra fuel already by the time we reached lap 7 of this race. A lot of lifting coasting is going to be necessary in this first stint. What would be nice, to be honest, is if we could sit in the DRS of Verstappen, but I think he might be too quick for us to stay behind him for the whole entire lap. Side by side for the chicane. Oh no, we might have made a mistake here. We rolled too much speed throughout the corner, and now Verstappen is behind us. Final corner, critical for a good exit, and we did get a good exit. We've got a good amount of battery to use now, and we're going to have to duck and weave to get him out of our slipstream. He's looking to the outside. Alonso's also looking to attack us, and we're going to send it down the inside. A bit of a rear lock, and we just kept the car under control. He is going to be further ahead than ever into corner 2, though. Is he going to hang it around the outside? He is going to hang it around the outside. We have to do the job around the outside of the banking now, and it is a traction race on the exit of the corner, running up the hill side by side. We're draining all of our battery. This is critical for us to keep this track position right now. Into the corner, we touch on the wheels a little bit. He's still side by side with us, and he's got the position. That is not good. We need to send it up the inside here to try and just get that position back, and we do send up the inside. We don't make contact. We just about keep it away from wheel-to-wheel contact there. And the reason that was so important is I don't think we have the pace to keep with him. I don't think we do. If he gets ahead, it is over for us, I feel like. And then we're going to be fighting backwards from that point onwards. Maybe, just maybe, when we get on the soft compound tyres. That was very close. Who got the DRS there? I didn't realise the DRS line was that early. It wasn't us. It wasn't Verstappen. Neither of us got the DRS. Alonso might find his way into P2 right now. Verstappen has so much straight on speed though, and he's on the inside line, what's very critical for us. We're losing positions hand over fist. Can we look down the inside? No, we can't. We actually did make contact with his rear tyre, but we have gone from P2 to P5 in this race, and that is a disaster for us, and we have to try and recuperate our battery. Just one mistake with the DRS line versus the AI, and that is GG for that position for now. We're going to have to look to see what we can do on the pit stop window to get that position back, because it doesn't seem like we're going to get it back from raw pace right now. And to be honest, that's what I like again about this challenge. I can't just walk all over the AI. I have to be really strategical, and one mistake is going to bite us. The opportunity of qualifying really presented itself with the rain and the wet conditions. But of course, that isn't lasting forever. And in the dry race pace, at least on the soft compound, we're not really having the pace of the front runners. There is a car retiring, though. There's a lot of cars retiring. Okay, the safety car. Let's take a look at that on the instant replay, because that is a lot of cars out of this race. Where did it start? Where does this carnage start? Riding on board with Lance Stroll at the moment. Oh, okay, Esteban Ocon spun his car around by himself. Riding on board right now, you can see it. Back on the power. And there's a long train of cars stuck behind him. And that is what has brought out the safety car here today. So I think we're going to box and put on the hard compound tyre. No one else is boxing, but we've got to take forward of an opportunity presented to us. Conservative into pit lane, because we don't actually need to be quite quick right now, providing our team can do a good pit stop and not mess it up. Carlos Sainz, the McLaren, is also going to the medium compound tyres, but we are going hards. I think it's the best call to get to the end. Go pit stop, please. Yes, come on. That is lovely for us. Oh, the safety car has let the leaders by. Why has the safety car let the leaders by? No, man. What the heck? What? Oh, because
slow
Russell...
Down, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
Because Russell has already passed the safety car. Because Russell
Okay, overtake the safety.
Because Russell is so far ahead right now. The safety car couldn't pick him up on the pit lane exit. Ah, that's a bit of a disaster for us. Because I think that might give the AI ahead the opportunity to box and mimic our strategy, taking away the advantage that we once had. Let's see. Will they box? Hopefully they won't. We have to keep up the pace just in case they do. Man, this delta is so broken on this game. Right, the AI are going to be boxing on this lap as we almost picked up a penalty, but yeah. I mean, unless the AI make a mistake in the pit lane, we're not going to have the chance to get past them, I feel. They're all going to medium compound tyres as well. What I think is a mistake. 26 laps on the mediums is pretty tough. At least for the human driver. But yeah, we're nowhere near them. We're only 1.6 off the delta. And we are nowhere near the back of them. So yeah, a bit of a shame that the leading car wasn't able to pick up Russell, as we might have been in a position to capitalise on that. So be interesting to find out if the AI are now going to do a double stop and they're going to go medium soft or medium medium, or if we are the only car right now that has the opportunity to go to the end of the race. Up behind Lewis. So Verstappen is in P3 right now. That's our target. Russell P1, Alonso P2, of course Verstappen P3, Hamilton P4, and we're P5 as well. Russell is waiting. Watching Russell like a hawk up ahead. You're right, he's gone. Overtake button is enabled. Lewis is so slow, man. We had to lift on the straight. But we're still going to have the inside line for the corner, able to get up ahead of him. It's a shame that Lewis was so slow. I saw a sniff of opportunity to get maybe past Max Verstappen on that restart as well. Oh well, these things can happen. Seems like we're able to stick fairly closely at this present time. Maybe I'll eat my words as we enter the middle sector for the first time. Look at the understeer on these tyres. Not ideal. Through the right hander. Down 2 gears into the right. 6 tenths behind, 7 tenths behind. Look at just the lack of ability to rotate this racing car. That is not good. 71 degrees on the front right tyre. We're going to have to make a choice here. I don't think we're going to stay in the DRS of Verstappen for the following lap. I think it might be better to not fight Lewis on this straight and hope that he can get in the DRS of the cars ahead. Turn off his battery, or turn off our battery. Hopefully Piastri won't have too much of a look at us, and we just want Lewis to go ahead with minimal problems possible. Now having the better traction on the outside to Piastri, and we should be able to sweep into turn 2 and take our position. Still struggling to warm up that front right tyre. This might backfire on us, to be honest. But it's our best shot at keeping within the leading contention for this race. We might have to... Okay, we'll send it for one more lap. We'll try for one more lap. Have to defend from Piastri going into turn 1. Deep on the brakes around the outside. Late on the brakes, that was. It might be over to Lewis, though. It might be over. It might be too big of a task to beat Lewis for his DRS in this race right now. These hard compound tyres are not working for our car right now. Well, I can't really say they're not working for our car. Our car is like 4 seconds a lap slower than the AI, as we're going to let past Oscar on the straight, having a big rear lock up on these tyres. Yeah, like I say, our car is like 3-4 seconds a lap slower than the AI. There's not really much more I can do. Down into turn 1, having to squeeze Perez a bit on the inside. And he's fully there. Oh, man, this battling is costing us. I think to be quite aggressive there with Perez. A little bit of overtake as we rise up over the crest of the hill. Is it going to rain? Please rain.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions look good. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now.
Not what we needed to hear. Of Piastri, what means we're going to have to let Sergio Perez go. Oh, go any slower, mate, please. Thank you. This is very frustrating. Be down into P7 in this race. We're pushing the absolute tyres off this car right now. Just simply, we don't have the pace. We have to pray. We just have to pray that the AI are going to box again. Around the outside. The Charles Leclerc using a bit of overtake button on it and saying, okay, that's better, that's good. Able to cut him off and retain a normal racing line. Much closer to Perez than we were to Piastri. It's going to be George Russell is going to retire from this race. Go on, safety car, please. Please, 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 please. Safety car, please. Safety car, please. Doesn't seem like there'll be a safety car. But it does give us a free position. But also does give Max Verstappen a free position as well. So it's nice, but not as nice as the safety car would have been as we made a mistake touching that inside curbing. Constantly coming under pressure from AI now. Having to drain so much battery down the straight just to stay ahead. What now is really going to compromise me on this lap. But sadly, we're going to have to wave goodbye as well to Perez in this race. As we run out of battery. I think we'll avoid Carlos Sainz a little bit there. And now the game starts again. Right, everyone, I need you to comment in the video to pray either for a safety car or that the AI are going to be boxing again. Otherwise, we're going to be falling maybe to P9 in this. But again, unless I burn all my battery, then there's nothing we can do. AI are fighting up ahead. That might help us. Come on. Battle some more, please. 22% front left. I mean, yes, same story. I could defend, but it's just going to be battery wasted and opportunity lost. Better to fall into position right now. And try to work forward. Rather than losing more time to the leaders. Our only chance of winning this race is the AI boxing again. So we need to minimize any lap time loss right now. Come on, we need the AI to battle up ahead. Yes, please, come on. Just give us any opportunity. I'll take any chance right now. Hopefully Gasly isn't in a place to attack us as they're going side by side again into turn 1. They're not going to go side by side actually. They swap positions fully. That's not good for us. Yep, confirmed. We're out of the DRS compared to Lando Norris. Our eyes are very much looking backwards now. Again, we have to play the same game. We're just going to have to let Gasly go past. Come on, beep beep. Yep, move on. There we go. Very slow on the apex there. Right, seems like we're able to follow Gasly closer than the other cars. I mean, a little bit of an obvious statement, given he's an Alpine and was battling McLarens, Ferraris, Aston Martins before. We're of course a higher up in the championship fight. Hopefully we won't need to defend from Lance into turn 1. We will, and I just want to start saving batteries. We actually swap that around and go for a very nicely overtake around the outside of Pierre Gasly. Turn the defense into a very, very nice attack. Alright, Pierre Gasly on the straight. We're going to let him through in the braking zone. It's a bit annoying because this is costing us more time. The car's up ahead. And it's getting to a point that even if the leaders do box... Why are you going defensive there, mate? Even if the leaders do box, they probably will come out ahead of us. easily around the outside now. Have to use a little bit of overtake button. Lance Stroll's going to make it pretty wide into turn 1, but we're able to brake late, take the racing line. Now they're battling ahead behind us, what might give us the opportunity to sort of run away, and then maybe we can spend the rest of the race doing our own thing. Up to 6.5 temps on the exit, almost 7 temps. 6 temps to Gasly on the exit. It might be far enough that we don't need to use overtake button. That was wishful thinking. He's closing pretty quickly. But yeah, I think we should be just about safe. And like this, we can start building up laps, doing our own pace. Big snap of oversteer. Not ideal. Okay, we're going to play the same game. Going to let Lance Stroll go. Hopefully he's far enough ahead this time. He is. That he won't bother defending going into the right-hander. But he's so slow in the middle of the corner. To be honest though, even if we don't, actually let's try not doing it. Let's see the pace of Lance Stroll. And see if he can actually be faster than us to drag us along. Saving our battery, saving our tyres, saving our fuel as well a little bit. So we're only plus 1 lap extra. And that might be a bit touch and go if we spend the rest of the race in the clean air. Lance Stroll was very slow on the exit there. Maybe we can get up on alongside him around the outside as well. And that was so slow for him on the exit. And now we're going to run side by side for the right-hander. And he's starting to fight for the position. Can we go around the outside here? Yes, we can. Carrying the momentum. That was very strange. Just how slow Lance Stroll was on the exit there. Annoyingly as well, we're starting to hold the gap for the cars ahead. I don't think, to be honest, mediums were the right decision. Not for the tyre wear that we have. Of course, I think AI have better tyre wear than the human, anyway. Because they always do the perfect input. And now we're going to have to look to defend. And now we're looking just to let Lance Stroll pass again. As that routine was working quite nicely before. Letting him sit in front meant that Gasly didn't have the opportunity to attack us. And we could really just rest. Saving the tyre a little bit. As we head on to lap 32 or 36 though, we are ending any chances of the AI boxing again for a different set of tyres. And looks like they will be going to the end on their medium tyres. Naturally, puts us in a position that we can only fight for P9 here today. Unless there is a late race safety car or dramatic events happening up front. We're going to look try and bring home these few points as they might be critical. We have the cars really struggling for traction, up to 49% on that front left deg right now. So yeah, I definitely feel for this car with the tyre wear it has, the lack of grip that it has, the understeer that it has, taking the hard compound tyre was better than the medium. Starting lap 33 right now. We have to be a little bit careful of this to ensure that we don't put ourselves too far behind Lance Stroll and give ourselves too much work to do. We actually tapped the back of him, actually. So it seems like they're very, very weak, and we are very, very strong in the sort of low-speed corners. But then once we reach high-speed corners, that really is where the AI is excelling and extending their gap to us. Now coming on to start the penultimate lap of the race. Lap 35 of 36. And we need to be nailing this lap to stay nice and close to Lance Stroll so we can overtake him on the final lap of the race. It's only worth an extra point, but every point counts in a championship situation like this. I truly feel like we've been able to maximize our opportunities in today's race. But of course, just with the lack of pace we have from this car right now, we are in a situation of just trying to hang on for positions. Our pace wasn't extremely fast also in Spa, but because of the DRS games, was able to hang on to win at that race. Seems like we have a better qualifying pace than we do have race pace. And we're going to have to try and use that to our advantage for the remainder part of the season. And now through the left. back on the power. We've got 80% battery right now. There's a yellow flag up ahead, and we might get gifted a free position here. It seems like Lando Norris is going to be retiring from this session. You can see him going slowly up ahead, but that does bring a new problem. We have to wait for the green flags to overtake Lance Stroll. So we got given a free position by Lando Norris retiring. But is that... Yes, mate, we already know.
They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
But is that going to stop our opportunity to overtake Lance Stroll? And now running up into the middle sector, we have to take our opportunities with the battery, putting the car on the inside line, side by side for the right-hander. Lance Stroll hangs around the outside now, and we have to be quick through here, and we're going to send it up the inside here, like we did to Verstappen earlier, a bit deep. And now we're going to have to try and fend off Lance Stroll with the DRS. We have more chances to defend than we do having to attack down this straight. Additionally, we have to make sure that we don't get out-dragged on the way to the start-finish line. Max Verstappen wins the home race in front of his crowd. Home crowd, I should say. But we have a few more corners to operate to try and keep extra points in the bag. Gifted a little bit by Lando Norris. But seems with low battery, we're going to be out of opportunities to defend from Lance Stroll running up to the line. And no, we just get beaten.
Okay, pick up run, bring it home.
Yeah, not much more we could have done. Gifted by Lando Norris's DNF. Lance Stroll, driver of the day, just to rub salt into the wound as he overtook us on the start-finish line. Here we go then, the official race classifications with us down in P9. Apart from maybe a bit of strategy with Lance Stroll on the final lap, I truly feel like we maximised that result today, but unfortunately, Max Verstappen won the race, taking home 25 points. A little bit lucky for us, though. Fernando Alonso took the fastest lap away for him, reducing 1 point that Verstappen could have earned. Taking a look at the Drivers' Championship to wrap up this episode. We're still within touching distance of P2, but Max is a long way gone. We're going to need a miracle to be able to catch him in the Drivers' Championship. Also falling to P6 in the Constructors' Championship. But with a good rest of the season, we can maybe fight for P4. P5 is realistic as well. That is episode 5 done and dusted. Zandvoort concluded, and not what we wanted from the race. Of course, coming home in P9 and Max Verstappen winning the race, extending his championship lead. We're going to need a miracle to bring it back from here, but sometimes when you ask for a miracle, you get that miracle. We're going to push the absolute wheels off the car for the remainder of the season and try to bring it back in the Drivers' Championship. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. The support on this series has been so heartwarming to see, and I really appreciate it. Until next episode, I've been Brendon Leigh, and I will catch you then. Grazie Vazazzi, ciao ciao, bye bye.